I'm Rachel Morgan, 36 years old, night shift nurse at Children's Hospital, Colorado. That freezing December night, I'd just gotten home from a brutal 12-hour shift when someone started pounding on my door like they were trying to break it down. The temperature had dropped to 20 degrees Celsius, and I could see my breath forming white clouds as I opened the door. The smell of hot cocoa still lingered from the kitchen where I'd been making some before bed. The warm yellow porch light created this crazy contrast with the flashing red and blue lights from the police car parked in my driveway. "Rachel Morgan," the young cop asked, his breath creating little puffs of steam. Behind him stood a woman in a black coat carrying an official-looking briefcase, Child Protective Services. And at the back of the group, wearing a red wool coat I didn't recognize at first, was Melissa, my sister, the woman who'd vanished from my life 7 years ago. My hands were shaking from the cold as I gripped the yellowed temporary guardianship papers I kept by the door. I'd raised 4 kids for 7 years, but tonight, the woman who abandoned them was calling me a kidnapper. Melissa stepped forward, her eyes red but determined. "I want my children back, Rachel. You've had them long enough." Back in March 2017, I was 29 and living alone in a tiny studio apartment in Capitol Hill, making $28 an hour working night shifts at Presbyterian St. Joseph Hospital. My life was simple: work, come home, read, watch Netflix. Then Melissa called at 2 a.m. crying, "Rachel, I need your help." She showed up with 4 kids: Emma, 8 years old, twins Jacob and Joshua, who were 5, and baby Lily, just 18 months, carrying only 2 duffel bags and a piece of paper scribbled with, "Emergency temporary guardianship. Please take care of my kids. I'll be back soon. Melissa." "Just a couple weeks," she promised, eyes bloodshot. "I have some issues to sort out." Those issues turned out to be Jason Kerr, her boyfriend, who disappeared with $47,000 of her gambling winnings. Melissa owed loan sharks and maxed out credit cards, getting threats about leg breaking if she didn't pay up in 10 days. I thought Melissa would come back within a month, but weeks turned into months. I had to move from my $850 studio to a 3-bedroom townhouse in Thornton for $2,200 a month, just to fit everyone. Daycare for the 3 younger kids cost $1,800 monthly. Emma needed after-school care, another $200. Groceries for 5 people ran about $400 a month. Those first nights, I'd bottle feed Lily while researching how to apply for temporary guardianship Colorado on my laptop. The JDF 506 form was 12 pages long with a $224 court filing fee. I filled it out line by line at my kitchen table under the dim overhead light. Lily sleeping in my arms, the slightly sour smell of formula hanging in the air. Melissa's last email came in June 2017. "I'm safe. Kids better with you right now. We'll send money soon." Then complete silence. 3 months later, Wells Fargo called about a $15,000 transfer from Melissa's account to mine with the memo, "For the kids, M." I had no idea where that money came from, but I used every penny for school supplies and winter coats. 7 years passed like that. I became Aunt Rachel to teachers, emergency contact to pediatricians, legal guardian on every form. Tonight, looking at Melissa standing on my porch, I realized something terrifying. I thought I was just protecting the kids, until I found the court summons in my mailbox the next morning. Melissa Catherine Moore vs. Rachel Elizabeth Morgan, petition for custody modification and child support. I sat frozen at my kitchen table, the legal papers trembling in my hands. Melissa wasn't just trying to get her kids back. She was demanding I pay her between $400 a month in child support for 7 years of unauthorized custody. My phone wouldn't stop ringing. Mrs. Patterson from next door called, "Rachel, honey, what's this I hear about Melissa?" Then Emma's teacher, "We need to discuss some concerning allegations that have been made." Tuesday morning, Jennifer Walsh, social worker, showed up with her clipboard and cold professional attitude. She sat in my living room, taking notes on everything from the groceries in my fridge to where the kids slept. "Ms. Morgan, can you explain why you never filed for legal adoption if Ms. Moore was truly absent for 7 years?" I kept thinking she'd come back. I stammered. The temporary guardianship papers seemed enough for school enrollment and medical decisions. But you did accept financial assistance intended for the children's mother? My face burned. That $15,000 transfer in 2017, I used every penny for them. Clothes, food, medical bills. She scribbled. Subject admits to accepting funds under questionable circumstances. That afternoon, the gal called to schedule individual interviews with each kid. Emma grabbed my wrist. Do I have to go alone? I nodded. Just tell the truth in your own way, sweetheart. The confrontation Wednesday evening, Melissa cornered me outside the hospital after my shift. She looked different. Dyed black hair, expensive manicure, genuine Coach purse. Rachel, we need to talk. Her voice was steady now, not shaky like that night. 7 years, Melissa. 7 fucking years. I rarely swore, but I couldn't help myself. Emma asked me why her mommy left her. What was I supposed to say? I was protecting them. Jason had dangerous people after him. I couldn't risk the kids getting hurt. So you risked them starving instead? Do you know how much diapers cost? Or preschool? Or just keeping 4 human beings alive? She pulled out a new iPhone. Look, I'm clean now. I have a job. Marketing coordinator at a wellness company in Scottsdale. I make $65,000 a year. I can provide stability. After 7 years, they don't even remember you. Because you turned them against me. Her voice turned sharp. You wanted to play house with my kids. Admit it. You've always been jealous that I had a family and you didn't. The words hit like a punch to the gut. That night, Emma was waiting by the door when I got home. Aunt Rachel, kids at school are saying our real mom wants to take us away. Is that true? I knelt down to her eye level. Sweetheart, things are complicated right now. But I promise, no matter what happens, you'll always be safe. The twins heard from upstairs and came running down. We don't want to go with her, Joshua said, eyes welling up. She's a stranger. 8-year-old Lily wrapped herself around my leg. Aunt Rachel, you're my real mom, right? I couldn't answer. I just pulled them all close, the familiar smell of Johnson's baby shampoo in Lily's hair making me tear up. Lisa Chen, SQR, charged $350 an hour from her downtown Denver office with a view of the Rocky Mountains. She flipped through my temporary guardianship papers, frowning. Rachel, this document is legally weak. Temporary guardianship in Colorado expires after 6 months, unless renewed through court order. Technically, you've been caring for these children without proper legal authority for 6.5 years. My stomach dropped. What does that mean? It means Melissa has grounds to claim abandonment wasn't formally established, and your guardianship is void. If she can prove she tried to maintain contact or that you blocked her access. I never blocked anything. She disappeared. Can you prove that? When I opened the social services file that evening, a familiar signature on the complaint made my heart nearly stop. Melissa had filed a counter petition claiming I manipulated her into abandoning the kids. I took 3 days off work for what I called research war. Lisa filed an affidavit of care with a complete medical and school timeline, plus a motion to terminate parental rights. Don't worry about the legal codes, she told me. I'll handle the courtroom. You just need to tell them how you were there every single day. I dug up every receipt from 2017, King Soopers groceries, Children's Hospital medical bills, Nordstrom Rack school clothes, Amazon Prime orders for diapers and formula. Total, 127, 147.23 over 7 years. Melissa's contribution, just that weird $15,000. Janet Kim, my Wells Fargo banker, helped me trace the transfer source. Interesting, she said, pointing at her computer screen. This money came from closing a Charles Schwab investment account under Jason Kerr's name, with Melissa Moore listed as beneficiary. Closed March 15, 2017, 3 days after the children were placed in your care. Bingo. Melissa had used Jason's money to buy my silence. Gmail search for From Melissa Moore turned up only 8 emails in 7 years. The last one was November 2019. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope kids are good. I'd replied 3 times asking for her address and phone number so the kids could contact her. No response. On Facebook Messenger, I found conversations between Melissa and her friend Tiffany Rodriguez from Las Vegas. Screenshot from 2018. Girl, I'm living my best life. No baby mama drama, no ex issues. It's like I'm 23 again, lol. Emma's school counselor, Mrs. Davidson, agreed to write an affidavit. Emma Morgan has consistently listed Rachel Morgan as primary guardian. When asked about her mother in 2019, Emma stated she didn't know if her mother was alive or dead. Dr. Patel at Rocky Mountain Pediatrics confirmed 47 visits across 4 children, with me as the only person bringing them in, signing consent forms, and making medical decisions. Mr. Carter, my retired police officer neighbor, offered to review my evidence with a cop's eye. Look at the timeline, Rachel. Melissa disappears March 2017, right when Jason Kerr liquidates his assets. She transfers you hush money 3 days later. This isn't abandonment. This is calculated child dumping. Lisa Chen developed our enhanced strategy. We're flipping this. Instead of defending against kidnapping charges, we're petitioning for termination of Melissa's parental rights under Colorado Program 19.5-203 Union D. Abandonment and failure to support. Colorado allows one-party consent recording. When Melissa called demanding another meeting, I was ready. Mr. Carter's Ring doorbell camera caught Melissa walking past my house twice in November 2024, before she officially reappeared. She'd been watching, planning. The recorded phone call was devastating. Rachel, you've had a good run playing mommy, but it's time to face reality. Melissa, where have you been for 7 years? I was building a life. I couldn't drag 4 kids through my mess. You should thank me. Thank you? For abandoning your children? I gave them stability through you. Now I'm stable too, and I want them back. With 7 years of child support back pay, $2,400 per month, plus interest. Digging through Melissa's social media via mutual friends, I found her LinkedIn profile. Melissa Moore, Marketing Coordinator, Scottsdale Wellness Solutions, 2018 President. She'd had a stable job for 6 years in Arizona without attempting contact once. But the biggest discovery came from public records. Maricopa County, Arizona marriage license, Melissa Catherine Moore and David James Patterson, June 15, 2020. Divorce decree, February 3, 2023. Melissa had married and divorced during her missing years, never once mentioning 4 children in Colorado. I held the marriage certificate copy, staring at a detail Melissa would never want to face. On the application, she'd marked, "No children from previous relationships." Denver County Court, Courtroom 4A. Judge Patricia Rodriguez, 58, appointed in 2015 with a reputation for being tough on child welfare cases. The courtroom's wood paneling and Colorado state flag, harsh fluorescent lighting creating a serious atmosphere. Your Honor, this is case 24J v. 0891, Moore v. Morgan, custody modification and child support. Bailiff Officer Martinez, built like a linebacker, stood near the witness stand. Melissa's attorney, Richard Steinberg, from a 500 an hour downtown firm, opened with dramatic flair. Your Honor, this case represents a mother's desperate attempt to reclaim her children from an opportunistic sister who exploited a temporary crisis. I sat next to Lisa Chen, clutching my folder of evidence, feeling every eye in the courtroom on me. Lisa stood. Your Honor, the evidence will show Ms. Moore didn't experience a temporary crisis. She executed a calculated abandonment of 4 minor children to pursue her own interests for 7 years. Melissa sat in the witness chair wearing a navy suit, hair in a professional bun. Her voice shook as she described Jason Kerr and the threats. I was terrified for my children's safety. Jason owed money to dangerous people. I thought a few months away would let things cool down. Ms. Moore, Steinberg guided her. Did you intend to abandon your children permanently? Absolutely not. I sent money to Rachel. I thought about them every day. Why didn't you contact them directly? I was afraid Rachel would turn them against me if she knew I was struggling. Lisa's cross-examination was aggressive but controlled. Ms. Moore, you testified you thought about them every day for 7 years. How many times did you attempt to call them? I. It was complicated. 0 times, is that correct? Rachel never gave me their phone numbers. You had the same phone numbers from 2017. Emma's cell phone, which you originally provided, remained active. You never called, correct? Silence. Ms. Moore, you married David Patterson in June 2020. On your marriage application, you marked no children from previous relationships. Was that a lie? Melissa's face reddened. I I was protecting their privacy. Critical evidence timeline. Lisa methodically presented the timeline. March 2017. Children placed with Rachel. March 2017. $15,000 transfer from Jason's liquidated assets. 2018. 2024. Zero communication attempts. 2018. Melissa starts job in Arizona. 2020. Marriage. Claims no children. 2023. Divorce. November 2024. First contact in 7 years. Your Honor, this isn't abandonment born of crisis. It's abandonment born of convenience. Judge Rodriguez. Court considers the best interests of the child, continuity, attachment, safety. Gal. All 4 kids identify Ms. Morgan as their psychological parent. In chambers, Judge Rodriguez interviewed the kids privately. Emma, 15, spoke for them. Your Honor, I don't remember much about my birth mother. Aunt Rachel taught me to drive, helped with college applications, was there for my first period. She's been our mom. Jacob, 12. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but I don't know that lady. Aunt Rachel is family. Lisa presented the marriage application photocopy. Your Honor, when Ms. Moore married in 2020, 3 years into this alleged temporary arrangement, she legally declared she had no children. This demonstrates clear intent to abandon. Melissa's attorney objected, irrelevant personal decision. Judge Rodriguez overruled. This directly addresses intent and state of mind. That's not fair, Melissa jumped up, voice cracking. I did what I thought was best. Rachel had a stable job. I was a mess. I was protecting them. Ms. Moore, please remain seated, Judge Rodriguez warned. She turned them against me. Look at them. They don't even know their own mother. She stole my children, and now she's trying to steal my parental rights. Your Honor, I never intended to steal anything. I was 29, single, had no experience with children. I did it because they needed someone, and Melissa asked me to. What would you have done if Ms. Moore had returned after 6 months? I would have helped her transition them back, made sure they maintained our relationship. I never imagined 7 years of silence. Do you believe Ms. Moore abandoned these children? I looked straight at Melissa, her eyes swimming with tears. I believe she made a choice to start over without them. That's not temporary. That's permanent. Lisa's last surprise. Your Honor, we've discovered that Ms. Moore did sign a temporary relinquishment of parental rights in March 2017, notarized by Patricia Williams at Wells Fargo Bank. The document copy read, I, Melissa Catherine Moore, temporarily relinquish parental rights to Rachel Elizabeth Morgan for my minor children, until such time as I am financially and emotionally stable to resume care. Ms. Moore never returned to claim these rights through proper legal channels as required by Colorado law. When Judge Rodriguez read her decision, Melissa shot up screaming, but the gavel slamming down ended everything. Parental rights terminated, permanent custody awarded to Rachel Morgan. This court finds clear and convincing evidence of abandonment under Colorado revised statutes. Garcor 19-5-203. Ms. Moore's 7-year absence, failure to provide support, and failure to attempt meaningful contact demonstrates intent to relinquish parental responsibilities. The gavel's echo filled the courtroom like thunder. Melissa collapsed in her chair, face buried in her hands. Ms. Morgan, you are hereby granted permanent legal custody of Emma, Jacob, Joshua, and Lily Moore. The children's last names may be changed to Morgan if desired. Relief washed over me like a warm wave. but watching Melissa's broken figure, I felt a complicated mix of victory and sadness. My charge nurse had been warning me about too many schedule changes. Lisa advised filing for short-term FMLA to protect my shifts during court season. The week after the hearing, my supervisor called me into her office. Rachel, I understand you've been going through personal issues, but we need reliable night shift coverage. I filed for FMLA protection. The legal proceedings are almost finished. Good, because HR was asking questions about your attendance pattern. Ms. Moore, you are granted supervised visitation rights, conditional upon completing parental counseling and maintaining stable employment. Visits will be supervised by a court-appointed advocate, 2 hours per month initially. Melissa looked up, mascara streaked. Can I at least talk to them today? Judge Rodriguez looked at me. I nodded slowly. 5 minutes. In the hallway. Outside the courtroom, the kids clustered around me like a protective formation. Melissa approached cautiously, like she was approaching wild animals. Emma, you've grown so tall. Her voice was hoarse from crying. Emma was stiff. Hi. Jacob, Joshua, you probably don't remember me. Joshua hid behind me. Jacob said quietly, I remember you leaving. Melissa's face crumpled. I'm sorry, I thought I was protecting you. Lily surprisingly stepped forward. Are you really our first mom? Yes, baby, I am. Aunt Rachel says you were sick and had to go away to get better. Are you better now? Melissa looked at me with surprise and gratitude. I'm trying to be. Setting boundaries. That evening, I gathered the kids in our living room, the same spot where everything started 7 years ago. So, what happens now? Emma asked. Now we keep being a family. Melissa can visit sometimes if she wants to, but nothing changes for us. This is your home. Will we have to see her if we don't want to? Jacob asked. Never. The court said visitation is your choice too once you turn 14. Lisa negotiated the final settlement. Melissa dropped the child support claims. I agreed not to pursue reimbursement for 7 years of expenses. Clean slate. Honestly, Lisa said, you spent more raising them than most divorced fathers pay in child support anyway. I thought everything was over. Until I received a letter from Melissa 3 weeks later, postmarked from Scottsdale Recovery Center. Dear Rachel, I'm getting the help I should have gotten 7 years ago. Thank you for saving them from my mess. 6 months later, Christmas 2024. Our townhouse was decorated with mismatched ornaments collected over 7 years. Emma's kindergarten handprint angels, Jacob's popsicle stick stars, Joshua's construction paper wreaths, Lily's glitter explosion masterpieces. I got promoted to charge nurse for pediatric ICU, $38 an hour plus shift differentials. Flexible scheduling meant more time for school events and soccer games. Emma got early acceptance to Colorado State with a partial scholarship. Her essay topic, The Woman Who Chose to Stay. Jacob and Joshua joined the middle school robotics team. Lily started piano lessons. On the mantelpiece, next to our family Christmas photo, I placed an old picture from 2015, Melissa hugging 4 small children at Elitch Gardens, everyone smiling. Not to torture myself, but to remember that love had existed once. Melissa's visits increased to monthly, unsupervised after completing counseling. The relationship was still fragile, but the kids were gradually warming up. She brought reasonable gifts, books, art supplies, not expensive guild offerings. Watching Emma help Lily unwrap presents, Jacob and Joshua building Legos together, I realized what I'd learned. Family isn't just blood or biology. It's showing up. It's staying. It's choosing love when everything else says run. I set 2 mugs of hot cocoa on the table. Lily laughed. Smells just like the night I was most scared, but now I feel safe. My phone buzzed with a text from Melissa. Merry Christmas to the best mom I know. Thank you for being what I couldn't be. Outside, snow was falling gently over Denver, covering everything in fresh white. A new year coming. A real family. Finally legal and forever. Sometimes the best thing you can do for someone is let them go. And sometimes, the best thing you can do is refuse to let them take what was never really theirs to begin with.